All right, guys, welcome on back. Continuing along with our Friday afternoon here in the Cyber Group Trading Room, and currently streaming across YouTube and Facebook here with our afternoon meeting, guys. Let's get a quick sound check, at least from everybody here, like Trading Room, YouTube, Facebook. Just make sure you guys can hear me loud and clear. Should be good to go. Market's been pretty just slow today, huh? Had a couple of nice runners. Ben just called out the NVAX trade, which has been filling the gap on the daily chart. Great to see everybody, though, here in our trading room. Michael, Grant, Kathleen, Ben, of course, as always, Cliff, Mark, David. You guys are all coming in. Perfect. All right. So like I just said, though, market's been pretty flat, at least since after the market opened up. Ended up seeing a bit of a drop off after 9:30, but ever since it's just been like nickels and dimes all throughout the way. So hey, for all of us here in the trading room, you guys at least know that, right? Myself and Fausto, we kind of tell you guys going into the beginning of the week and going into the very end of the week, you don't really tend to have as much news coming out. Well, of course, in this market, you never really know. Of course, just after the market closes, we ended up seeing a big rally at least overnight, but that doesn't necessarily lead to a great day-to-day trade. So, hopefully this could be the quiet before the storm, and hopefully we could see at least a move up or down taking us into the close. Looks like Gene here in the chat board just posted I&O. He picked up 14 cents. Well, that was a stock that we were following just before Gene. So let's check that out at least. And then from there, we'll check out also a couple of other movers that we had from the morning. All right, so the I&O trade, I'm actually recording this on a separate monitor right now for you guys for class, but the I&O trade, you can see pulled back at the open, but ended up really bouncing pretty nicely off the 750 level. We more so ended up calling this one out off the breakout from 8. You could see two huge volume spikes on this trade, Gian, and actually I'll just draw the lines here. I had it up on my other monitor, but looking at $8 right here, and then alongside that, $7.95. So we ended up seeing two different transactions just on the time and sales earlier today at $7.95, like a 1.8 million share print, and then from there at 8, I think it was like a 7 or 800,000. But nevertheless, right, we tend to follow the smart money. So I know that Gene was just in. He picked up 14 cents. I think Cheryl was still in just from before. Guys, let me know if anyone else here is in the I&O trade. I'm currently still long myself from the 8 level. For right now, it's making a lower high, but with the volume filled, at least it's made a nice reaction off that level. So hopefully there could be a lot more to come. So at least for now, I'll put this stock I&O on our main watch list for the afternoon. Be nice if I had my pen here. There we go. All right, Lawrence, you're long as well. Cool. What price? Guys, let me know if you're in this trade right now. Just let me know also what price you're currently long from. All right. Well, we had the I&O trade. This was a Corona stock, so to say, a pharma stock that came out with news in relation to a potential coronavirus vaccine. But this is one of many that we've been calling out. CODX from yesterday. This was more of a morning move. You could see continuation, at least from the afternoon run yesterday. Ended up popping above big resistance that we personally were calling out yesterday into the close. Right. Well, it's easy to see off the chart, but just based off the volume that was on the ask at 1350 and 1360. Just heading into the close, these highs here that were holding so well. Well, shortly after the open, it took a bit, but this one ended up breaking higher as well. So, CODX, fantastic day trade, at least we caught off the 1350 level. Now, why do I say day trade? Because it's not to say that we're going to hold on to this trade throughout the rest of the morning or throughout the rest of the afternoon. So this stock looked promising all the way up to 15. And myself and Donald, we were looking at this together in a coaching session. We were looking for a pop over 15, shortly after. But what goes up comes back down. And afterwards, well, if it's not going to break higher, well, eventually it's going to break lower. I don't know if there was news pertaining to CODX just that led to that big quick shake, but it was holding over 13 pretty nicely for a while, and it's still very active, at least at this point heading into the afternoon. I just don't like the lack of direction at this point so far. So held 13 off support, held 14 off resistance. It's in that channel. I'd like to see a cleaner move up, at least heading into the close. So, I don't mind putting this on our list at the end, but for right now, we'll check out some of the other options at least. I saw Jerry call out mRNA. That was one that was breaking all-time highs just from yesterday and the day before. mRNA, yeah, it ended up dropping off at first, but then pushed up. Got my pre-market settings off here. That's pretty odd. There we go. I knew something looked funky. There we go. So mRNA, big drop off. This stock actually is shortable. So, this was a good opportunity if you were able to catch it quick, but, ended up bouncing back up. And as you can see, pulling back down now, this is more of a level 5 stock. So for any of our newly enrolled students here, unfortunately, this wouldn't be a stock for you to consider going into the close. It's not to say unfortunate. We're trying to help you, stop losing money, because a stock like this is very, very quick to trade. And given the spread and the lack of volume on the order book, it makes it very easy to make money if you're following the direction. But if you get filled at the wrong price, or the wrong time for that matter, it's just as easy, if not much easier, to lose money. So, I'm going to put this on our list. Very active stock. I'm just going to say it's more of a level 5 stock, at least heading into the afternoon. So if you were trading this earlier, doing well on it, hey, I would at least put this near the top of your list going into the close. And then finally, last one, as far as the Corona stocks, a couple more otherwise aside from these, but not Codex. So Karan called this out earlier, Ben just before 2, NVAX, NVAX. So NVAX, you can see just from the daily chart, I'll zoom out, but this stock had a huge gap down going back into last year, pretty much around this time. I feel like time's a flat circle. We end up seeing NVAX just continue to squeeze up over time. We've been following this since late January, really. But finally, over the last week or so, it ended up breaking higher, and here we are now, just a very sharp run going into the close. Ended up breaking above 1950 recently here. Let's just look at the tape. So 2 big spikes right around 226, 233. Look through the tape here, 1950. There's some prints right there filled above the ask, but right at that price. More and more coming in just off the bid. And then finally from there, it kind of looks like 1975 seems to be your next resistance ahead. Perhaps a minor one, because you'd figure 20 is going to be a major resistance ahead going into the close. Let me see if I have Bookmap up right now. I don't think I have my Bookmap open for NVAX. I don't want to take the time to try and go through it. Let's see what's on the matrix here for right now. It's not populating any ask orders at 20 just yet. So if it gets closer in price, we're going to see a big order likely at that 20 level. So the NVAX trade we'll add to our list here too. Again, though, much like the mRNA, I'd say this is probably more of a level 3 to 4, if anything. mRNA seems a lot quicker than this, but still this NVAX one's pretty up and down. Order book a little thin. All right, so aside from that, we ended up doing well on a couple of other trades, guys. AMC was more of a pre-market trade, ended up dropping off shortly after the market open. AMC Theaters, we'll take a look at this at least from earlier today. More so in pre-market, ended up making a nice pop. Fausto was going over this just earlier for you guys during the morning meeting. But of course, after the open, big drop off. Now, we weren't able to short this stock. AMC, difficult to get shares, but we ended up catching the bounce. A few of us ended up watching this right off the 310 level here, essentially getting in later on as this began to make higher lows. And it was a nice small bounce at the time, but at this point, 24 million shares, it's trading about 6 million on average. So really at this time of the day, and probably going forward for the close, the stock has likely exhausted itself out. So, maybe if anything, it will keep dropping if it can break down below 320, but we're not going to be there to trade it. So we're going to pass on this for right now. And then aside from that, what we'll do, guys, is just go from top to bottom on the gainer side, loser side, see what else we can catch going into the end of the day. Any of the other big ones, if I missed any of them, I'm sure I missed one or two from before. We'll look to comment on it quick. The AKRX did make a nice run. Cheapy ended up pretty much opening up right out the gate, taking off from 20 cents up to 50. We were late to the draw on the call out here, but we were still able to get just about 6-7 cents on the way up. I mean, I would say that's as much as you can think that you would be able to get on a cheapie like this. To think that you could pick up 20-30 cents on a 20-cent stock, I mean, that's almost to think greedy in a sense, right? It does depend on the momentum. It depends on where you see major volume on the order book, but you have to know your worth on a trade like that. And really, I'd take like 2 cents on a trade like this, load up on 5,000-10,000 shares and just kind of scalp it quickly. But at least for right now, we're not going to put this on our list for the close. All right, another one, ENSV, cheapy, nice pop earlier. Again, a lot of these, though, I feel like have kind of just exhausted themselves out. This TRNX, not necessarily, but look at the volume traded on this thing today. Are you kidding me? 645 million shares. That might be the most I've ever seen for a stock. And, you know, I don't focus on these cheapies as often. So, you know, I'm sure that there could have been a stock trading more volume over time than this on a given day, but over half a billion shares, guys. That's crazy. So, you know, for right now, even though it is making a nice bounce off 32 cents, 31 cents, it's pushing. For right now, I'll keep this on the side. Ooh, this SGRY trade. I know Fausto called this out earlier during the audio broadcast in the trading room. It was making a nice little run at the time. It was kind of low volume. That's what he was saying. But, you know, look at this setup here. It's kind of pinning itself underneath major resistance, what seems to be at 950. Tight spread, liquid order book. Now at 960, though, look at 960. So, you know, this is where we say it's not just what you see on the chart. It's a matter of what you see on the order book. So it looks like 950 is holding pretty nicely here, right? On the chart. Look at 960 on the ask. 31,550 shares. So, you know, 960 is our major resistance. That makes a difference in terms of the level to watch. I mean, at least for now, we'll keep this on our list or put this on our list, the SGRY. Gene, your namesake, got here. Gene C, nice pop at least for Gene the stock. Ended up pulling back down though. I'm not going to focus on this for the close. All right, SI, AMC we went over already. Fausto talked about love earlier. Let's take a look at this at least. Nice little squeeze up. I mean, it's kind of slow, just trading kind of light volume at this time of the day. Even after that big volume spike, the stock's trading about like 1,700, 1,800 shares per minute. It's really not much at all. So nice steady trend off the lows. It seems slow. And I mean, maybe we'll keep this on our side list, but for right now, I'll just see if there's better options right now. Trox, same thing. I mean, at this point, what we'll do is just kind of skim through. ECOR looks like a nice rounded bottom potentially here, 105. All right, not a whole lot of familiar names on the gainer side here, guys. I know Kathleen was calling out BCRX earlier. It's kind of slow, but, you know, making a nice move off of 3 at least for now. You could see that BCRX opened up. It ended up dropping down exactly towards yesterday's high, which is right at 290, and then is squeezed up since. So, you know what? I mean, it's a level 1 stock. It's not going to, you know, be the fastest stock in the world, but that doesn't, you know, mean that we're not going to follow it. So, you know, at least for now, BCRX, I'll add to our list. A lot of volume on the order book it needs to cut through, but, you know, nice little bounce off 305. Looks like 315 it was holding just as a peak before. All right, let's check in with a couple of the other stocks that we were trading otherwise. I mean, I don't see them on the gainer side here, but like, you know, the airlines, the cruise lines, etc. We'll take a look at all of those here in a bit. MGNX here quickly. Trade station charts acting a little slow right now. Looks like the MGNX is at the highs, right? You can see it's only trading 506,000 shares though. That's really light for this point in the day. I mean, that's not really something we would normally put on our list. MIT, same thing. You know what? Let's hop over to the loser side, guys. Then from there, what we'll do is check out some of the stocks on our side list. You know, like I'd said, the airlines like AAL, DAL, UAL, etc. And then, you know, the cruise lines, casino stocks. I mean, all entertainment stocks, really, just anything else that we could see scan for otherwise. Just a whole bunch of stuff hard to borrow on the loser side to begin. Sound like a negative Nancy right now, but you know, I mean, it's to be expected. It's a Friday afternoon. You know, things typically are slow at this time. Sono, this SONO trade, I do like at least. Nice steady trend down, broke a new low earlier. It is shortable, at least for those that have TradeStation. All right, so let's see. I think that's pretty much it, guys. LL and W, that might be it. Let's see. Nah. I mean, pulling back a bit, but nothing really too much to write home about here. All right, guys, let me know if there's anything else here in the chat board, up, down, left, right, 5%, 10% more. In the meantime, I will look at some of the stocks. Like I said, AAL, super flat. Oh, my goodness. It's like watching the grass grow here. My NCLH, we were watching this together earlier. I'm actually recording this stock, or I was recording this stock. Let me turn back to it for my video. There we go. NCLH seems pretty active still. I wouldn't mind just putting this on our watch list, trading 20 million shares total. Spreads are tight. We've been calling this out earlier. Looks like a lot more active compared to Carnival, and RCL probably pretty volatile too, but NCLH out of all of them seem to be at least the most active. So, you know what, at least for right now, no problem throwing Norwegian Cruise Lines on here. Take a look at the airlines, I guess, back to like UAL, DAL, etc. But it seems like so flat, all of them. Yeah. All right. What do we have here in the chat board, though, guys? From we'll go from bottom to top. I see a bunch of stuff here. From Cliff, Bed Bath & Beyond dropped. We were looking for a pop on that. Oof, yeah, big drop off. Hey, if you could short Bed Bath & Beyond, then actually this would be a fantastic stock to look at. Just the breakdown below 5 here, heading into the close. But I don't think that we can here, at least for those that have trade stations. So for right now, I'm not going to put this on the main list, but that's a good call, though, Cliff. Big volume getting filled, as you could see right off the break from 5. And from Michael Penn National Gaming off 14, dropped off earlier. So, you know, very active, big range from the morning, and it is pushing up. So that does seem to be a pretty decent play. Let's take a look at the other casino stocks, though, like MGM. Pretty flat. Caesars. It's like lifeless. Geez. Well, I'll tell you, I'd say Penn would be just the most active of those, Michael. So that's, you know, also a pretty good call. From Kathleen, Blue Apron, APRN. Not up or down a whole lot there. New high, I see that. I'd rather focus on like a Penn trade, if anything, from those three. From Ben Works, we've been following Works up and down just across the last week or so. So, you know, fantastic run so far off 6. It's moved up $1.40 already. And if you look, guys, if anything, what appeals to me more than anything, just, you know, simply chart reading here, look at the 5-minute chart. It's not just holding 6 and 580 today. It was holding 6 and 580 yesterday. It's a true double bottom day to day. So it's already made a big run, but it's not to say that it's, you know, done for the day. So I'll put this Works trade on our list here. I was a little hesitant of doing that just before, Ben. I saw the call out here. I thought it was just going to be a pump and dump type move, but, you know, it still continued. The volume is pretty strong now at this point. You know, the volume faded down a bit, so that's what I was worried about, seeing a big pullback after, and that was it. But not only that, but also just now kind of seeing the double bottom play here, squeezing up. It's a good pattern to follow. All right. From David Oxy, we got a few more. You guys are giving me some good options here. Oxy OXY ran from earlier, right? I mean, I'd be remiss to not mention this, at least from the market open. Oxy and then also APA. APA was just even stronger, at least heading into the afternoon. So, you know, those stocks still very tradable, at least for right now. I'm not going to just, you know, throw them on the list just yet. But, you know, hey, like that's also for me to say at the same time, guys, goes for everyone here in the trading room, everyone streaming across Facebook, YouTube. You know, if there's a stock that we tend to put on our watch list, and, you know, there's a stock that you've been following all throughout the day, making money consistently on it, put that stock right on your personal watch list. You don't need me to, you know, put it on the main watch list for you to trade it. So, you know, if you've been doing very well on a trade, just, you know, over and over, stick with it. If there is opportunity on it, of course. You know, if it's just lifeless at this point, then I'd say probably to focus on something else. But, you know, hey, Oxy still a good trade. Penn from Michael. If you could short Bed Bath & Beyond from Cliff. Calla from Ben calling it out. Broke a new high. It is pushing up to a major resistance at 10. And it seems like it's testing the high back from Monday, if I'm not mistaken, or Tuesday. This is one I'm scared of being a pump and dump. It's run up pretty nicely so far from 920 up to 10. I don't know if there's any sort of news on it. For right now, I'm not going to put this on the main list just yet. A good call, at least based off a potential breakout, but I'm a little worried about the volume on this trade. All right, guys. Let me know, guys. Anything else? Last call. Let's see, from Bonnie, CNX. All right, last one here. So a couple of us typing quick. All right, the CNX trade pushed up just from last week, if I'm not mistaken, right? We ended up following this going into the close, if I'm not mistaken, back on Thursday of last week, was it even? We ended up seeing a nice run on this trade. It is testing resistance at 1050. Again, for right now, not ready just to put it on the main list, but good call though. Again, tradable. All right, Grant says, thanks, Josh. No problem at all, Grant. And my day off, no days off, Grant. We got a nice close to work with here at the least, between all of the Corona stocks that we put on our list so far and a couple of others, slower moving SO&O and BCRX. Those could be fantastic trades as well heading into the end of the day. And again, lastly, what I'll say, guys, just for all of us here in the trading room, just when it comes down to following the watch list, if there's absolutely nothing from this list that ends up running heading into the end of the day, or at least within the next 15, 20 minutes, really at that stage, I would look to rescan the market. At that stage, that's when we tend to just go through the percent gainers and losers list again. We'll run down everything, see what else there's tradable or not heading into the final hour or final 30 minutes. All right. Then last one at the buzzer. Geez, you guys aren't giving me a break here. NBEV. Let's see. Now, we traded NBEV earlier last week, or earlier in the week, I should say, off 150. Made a nice breakout, and it's a good call. It's a nice level one stock, if anything. So, I do like to see that. So, you know what? NBEV will add to our list here. We were following Tilray earlier. Tilray is a pot stock. This had affiliations with pot sector just from last year, right? All right. So, you know what? The NBEV trade we'll put on our watch list, and that'll do it. So, in total, we have how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stocks to work with heading into the close, guys. CODX is on our side list, but that will do it, though. That's it. All right. And then lastly, one thing, guys, just before I'd like to finish up, I'd like to welcome 2 of our newest students here to the CTU trading room. I'd like to welcome Manish and Srini here as our newest students. So welcome aboard, guys. And for all of our new students here, keep in mind, if you guys have any questions pertaining to the curriculum, once you tend to go through all of the classes, whether it be live classes that we're doing this week and next week, or just from the recordings that we'll post up shortly, if you have any questions, please, by all means, send over a quick email, send it over right to my email address, josh@ctutrading.com, and I'll be more than happy to help you guys out on the side. All right, so Manish and Srini, welcome aboard. And again, for all of us here in the trading room, we'll look to post and tweet the picks coming up. Take care.